Hi, Kevin Engbers, CEO, founder, and wealth advisor at Pinnacle Wealth here in Sioux Falls. One topic that's gaining a lot of headline time recently has been inflation. A lot of people say, well, how does that relate to me? Or why should it matter? You know, inflation's always been here. It's been around a long, long time. So it should always be part of the conversation. But now it's jumped up. So a lot of times people then will say, okay, what does that mean to me? Well, you know, I'm no different than everyone else. I rationalize away inflation. Got a truck, for example. I'm driving on the road and I look at an older truck that's going by and I say to myself, yeah, mine costs more, but you know, look, that has the old dial, just FM and AM, nothing else. Mine has the Sirius, everything else that's in it. So you kind of rationalize, say, well, that's why my truck costs more. No, each component and every part also costs more. The only thing I've really found over the years that really resonates with a lot of people as to what inflation is the old postage stamp. I hope you can see it. These are two stamps, both flags. The top one is the year I was born. Now, recently they commemorated that stamp in 1959 because Alaska was just added as a state, so they had to add another star to the flag. So that's why I picked the flag, because it was one that was in the year I was born, and it's one that I just picked up last week. So the interesting thing though is the one on the day that I was born, December 29, 1959, was 4 cents. Now you go pick them up and you're in the high 50s. Kind of an ugly thing. And people will go, yeah, but Kevin, you're just really old. That's why things went up over those years. But let's take a look at the numbers. So we're not at December 29 yet of this year, but just for easy math, let's do that. So from 12/29, 1959 to 12/29 of 2021, that will be 22,691 days, or 62 years. But you know, when my parents went to pick up a roll of stamps, you know, 100 rolls or 100 stamps on a roll, they only had to spend $4. Now it's 58. Again, your mind says, yeah, but that's a long time, 62 years. But if you do the math, that's actually a 4.4% rise in the price of that postage stamp. Now that's a big deal because just from April of last year to April of this year, they came out and said inflation's back at about 4%. But again, they're saying, well, some of that's from COVID and some of that is the pent-up cost of goods going up because of the demand. You know, and we got used to thinking 2% was there. But all this, why does inflation really matter? Well, most importantly, let's say you had a child that was just born last night. And you say to yourself, you know what, I want to put away enough dollars so that I can buy the same amount of education in the future that $10,000 buys me today. If we use the number that everybody's comfortable with, saying it's been 2%, in 20 years, because your child was born last night, you're going to need to have $14,859 in that account to provide the same equivalency of what $10,000 is today. But if you use my postage stamp number, that 4%, you're going to need to have $23,691 in that account. So it's very important to build in inflation. To me, it's at the top of my list for what derails most financial plans. The second thing, procrastination. If you do nothing, ironically, I had someone say to me once, you know, this whole inflation thing, that's why I spend all my money today, because it buys more than it will a year from now. Well, maybe good rationalization, but not a good plan. So you need to make sure you know and you build into any good financial plan the effect of what inflation does over time. Your investments or your portfolio needs to outpace that. And more importantly, when you build in, most cases, you're going to also pay taxes on that growth. The example I use a lot is if you have money in an account that's maybe paying 0.0025 and then you pay taxes on it, when you take inflation off of that, you're going broke safely. You need to make sure that your investments in your portfolio stay ahead of that over time. Inflation, it's a nasty thing that we all need to deal with. It has everybody concerned right now because they're hearing that we're about at 4%, which means things are getting overheated and the feds may need to raise interest rates. But you know what? My postage stamp says it's been around for years. So build it into your plan so that you can improve your probability of success. If you like the information that we talked about today, do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button below. By joining us, it'll allow us to provide you more educational information as we strive to help you build your wealth true.